Welcome into Sweet Tea in the SEC. I am your host, Chris, always joined by my guy, Adam. We got Ole Miss Miami to recap. We've got some portal updates, and we got a fun little thing we're going to do after that we'll get into later since it is our final episode of the season. No worries. We are not leaving forever. We will be back, but this is going to be the final episode of the 2025 football season, even though we're in 2026. How you doing, brother?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Oh, it's been a hectic week, and it's only Tuesday.
It's only Tuesday, man. You still got a whole week, and I think this is the only week out of the whole season no college football's played.
Yeah, there
we're
is.
We're going Sunday to Saturday with no college football.
Yeah, and we're not an NFL fan. We're not. Well, we are NFL fans. We're not an NFL show, but we do have NFL playoffs to hold us over, which have been fun.
They've been fantastic, but
yeah, I've enjoyed the pass round, and then I went and looked at the matchups for this upcoming weekend. And I ain't gonna lie, I'm kind of hyped. Sorry, my dog's in the background.
Saturday's game should be pretty good.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be amazing.
Sunday's games I could take or leave. Saturday's games will be pretty good though.
Yeah. All right, well let's jump right into it. By now you know Miami beat Ole Miss. I think it was 31-27, right, Adam?
Yep.
31-27. Man, I pissed off some Ole Miss fans the other day on TikTok, and I didn't think it was that controversial what I said, man. And I'm curious to hear your thoughts. I thought leaving that game, I really felt like Miami dominated, but it just didn't show up on the scoreboard because like they had like 10 penalties, which was kind of uncharacteristic of Miami. And, you know, you had Beck missing 3 or 4 really deep balls, wide open deep balls, or underthrowing them, overthrowing them. And then you had an offensive coordinator. I know he ran the ball 51 times, but he probably should have ran it more than that. He got cute at a lot of times when he should have just handed the ball off to Fletcher, who was absolutely gashing Ole Miss. And yeah, I felt like I let that game go. Man, it felt like Miami dominated, and it shouldn't have been close.
No, and the reason it was close, in my opinion, the reason it was close was, 1, Miami dropped 4 interceptions. 2, the only turnover in the game was Miami turning the ball over. And 3, Miami held on to the ball for 41 minutes and 22 seconds. When you're driving the ball down a team's throat the way Miami did, which we knew, we discussed, we both picked Ole Miss to win, but we had discussed that Miami definitely would put up points because Ole Miss's defense was a little bit soft. We expected, Ole Miss to win the shootout, but Miami held the ball for 41 minutes and 22 seconds, Chris. When you do that, you don't score a lot of points when you do that, because you're running time off the clock. You're going 7-8 yards every single run and just wearing the defense out. And that's what they did. I feel like, and maybe their offense and their success wouldn't have been as clicking as well if they would have gone a little bit hurry up, but as successful as they were running plays, if they would have gone faster, then they would have scored more points.
Mm-hmm.
They just, and that's not their style though. So you can't really say they would have scored more points doing that, but they were punching Ole Miss in the mouth over and over and over. And, they outgained Ole Miss 459 to 398. And outside of Lacey's 73-yard touchdown run, Ole Miss only had 121 total yards.
Mm-hmm.
So outside of that one run, they didn't have a whole lot of rushing yards, and Miami ran the ball for 191 yards. Like, if that's not dominating a game, I don't really know what is. The only reason this game was close was because Trinidad Chambliss made some plays and kept them in the game.
Yeah, I agree. And I kept thinking, like, at some point, I was texting Austin. I think I said in the group chat, too. Like, at some point, I was, like, waiting on Ole Miss because It happened in the Georgia game. I kept saying during the Georgia game, I was like, you keep letting these guys hang around. They're going to figure it out. They're way too explosive on offense. And it felt like they were starting to figure it out, but it was a little bit too late.
And they couldn't get off the field on defense too. When their offense did start to figure it out, their defense couldn't get off the field for their offense to go score more points.
Man, what a season for Ole Miss, though.
That's fantastic. And Trinidad Chambliss was absolutely fantastic. Loved watching him play. He was the surprise. I think the surprise of college football. Maybe now because Indiana is probably the surprise of college football. But Trinidad Chambliss coming out of nowhere like that, definitely the surprise of the SEC. Maybe the individual surprise of college football for what he did. Nobody had heard of him before week 2 or 3, really, unless you pay attention to Division II football. And he won a national championship at Ferris State last year in Big Rapids, Michigan. I used to work for the GLIACs. I know Ferris State a little bit, but I knew they won a national championship last year. I didn't know, I didn't pay that close attention to their players or that he had even transferred there. I did have somebody on the weekly walk-on very early in the season, and he had mentioned that, he liked his name. So he was one that he was going to watch. He thought maybe he could push for the starting spot, but wouldn't be surprised if he wouldn't. So, great season. And I think going back to the game, we talked about he was going to have to be dynamic, and he threw for a decent amount of yards. He ended up throwing for what did he throw for? He threw for 277 yards. That's a good game. But we talked about he was going to have to be dynamic, make plays with his feet and his arm, and they were able to keep him in the pocket. He only carried the ball 5 times, which they kind of got in a point where they had to throw the ball a little bit, but I felt like he needed to gain a few more yards on the ground to help just change the pace of the game and keep Ole Miss's defense off the field a little bit more. Get a little bit more longer drives, take a little bit more time of possession, and I don't want to take anything away from him. He had a great season, a great game. Running the ball, though, is when he can be a true dual threat, and he was not in this game, is when he's at his best because he is so dynamic. And just like Diego Pavia, very, very similar types of – their games are a little bit different, but very similar types of success for their offenses. When both of those guys can run and throw, it opens everything wide open.
Yeah. I did not know our boy Jamal was a Rams fan. So how do you like them? How do you like that Georgia legend leading your Rams, baby? I know he's going to comment back. But yeah, no, I agree. I think Pete Golden. I was thinking earlier today, me and Austin at some point in the offseason going to do our coaches ranking, and we would never in a million years rank a coach that's only coached 3 games in a top 25. But I ain't gonna lie, I kind of considered it today because I was like, he's 2-1, but those 2 wins are playoff wins. I'm like, I may somehow sneak a 3-game coach into a top 25 rankings because of what he did, considering the circumstances, man. Like, holy crap. To think about what, like, all the Lane Kiffin stuff that happened and all the, the staff trying to tamper with the players while coaching Ole Miss. Man, just huge kudos to Pete Gold and the staff there, what they've done to keep that team together, keeping guys that were almost – it was pretty much a guarantee Trinidad was going to go to LSU if he got his waiver, which he didn't. But even if he did, he was signed with Ole Miss. It was a damn guarantee. Think what?
He had come out and said if he got a waiver, if he got the waiver, and he still might, it's not completely done, but he had said he was going to stay at Ole Miss, I thought.
Yeah, he is. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, no, I'm saying like the fact that Pete Golden was able to keep Trinidad.
I'm sorry, I misunderstood. I thought you said it was a done deal. He was going to LSU.
Oh no, done deal. He was staying at LSU.
Okay. I misunderstood. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. My wife misunderstands me all the time. But yeah, so to keep him and Lacey. Now Lacey, I was almost 99.9% sure he was gone. But then he's also staying at Ole Miss, which is, just kudos to them.
Yeah.
Kudos to the whole staff, and they're killing it in the portal. Ole Miss fans should be absolutely proud of this season, man.
Yeah, it was arguably the best season Ole Miss has ever had. I think about going back to that playoff game that they hosted, the first round game. That, in my opinion, that is the biggest college football game the state of Mississippi has ever had.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm excited for that new era, but yeah. We're an SEC show, but I think this I would be remiss if we didn't at least. We're not doing a preview, but like, what's your thoughts? You going Indiana?
They are the most disciplined team I've ever seen. I heard this today. They fumbled the ball one time all year. They lost one fumble all year. They have 8 turnovers all year through 15 games. 8 turnovers and lost one fumble. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. I mean, they've got Florida Florida bloggers accusing them of cheating. That's how perfect they've been playing.
They've been playing well, and the things that it's ridiculous. The things that those guys have pointed out. I don't think they have, but I mean, if you're going to start claiming that, come with some evidence at least. But some of the things they were pointing out, like the opening game pick 6. I mean, no, that was just more staring it down and film study. Like that was pretty obvious. Everybody knew as soon as he cocked his arm back where he was going with the ball. So, I was just about to put that one over. That's a good one. That's true. They are one of the most well-rounded teams I've seen in a long time. I'm not going to get into I think people can make the argument if they want. I'm not going to get in the area of putting them up there with the best teams ever. But, you can always look at stats and manipulate them how you want and use them to make an argument for or against your case. There's always ways to do that with anything. But they are maybe the most well-rounded team I've seen in a long time. There's always some sort of iffy. This part of the team's not quite as good on every champion that we've seen. This is clearly the best unit. This is, whatever. It's hard to find it on this Indiana team.
Yeah, they remind me a lot of. We've said it multiple times. They remind me a lot of those vintage Nick Saban teams.
Well, I mean,
you got to play perfect against them, or you got to hope they have an off night.
Yeah,
and that's what you used to have to do with Nick Saban. You had to used to hope that when you played Bama in the Nick Saban era, pre-NIL, that they had just an off night and coughed up the ball and the ball bounces certain ways, or you had to have a Johnny Manziel type game to beat them. Like you weren't going to just line up man to man and beat them. Like you had to have some luck to it. You had to have Hugh Freeze with the 2 Ole Miss wins. There was like some funky stuff that happened in those games. And yeah, it was, yeah. And so they're done. I'm going Indiana, which should make Miami fans happy because I'm 0-3. So isn't it crazy that Ryan Day and Ohio State thought they were about to start something special after winning the Natty, and now they have to worry about Sigs and the Hoosiers? What you think about that, Adam? Your new rival, Indiana?
I mean, I think that I'm all day UK. Grew up in Ohio. Obviously, we're an Ohio State shirt because it was the last shirt that I had that had a university on it. I was trying to hold off wearing this one. The best part about this shirt, though, is one of my best friends that's a Michigan fan gave it to me. So he had such a disgusted look on his face when he gave it to me. But I think when the Pac-12 crumbled and you had those teams join the Big Ten, that Oregon, Washington has some good teams here and there. USC has been very good. It's been a while since they've really had it rolling, but 20 years or so, 15 years, but they are still, they still get great recruits and still have high recruiting classes, and they can beat some teams that Vegas doesn't expect them to. So you would have thought all of them would be in there in the mix. Penn State had a down year this year. Michigan kind of fell off after winning the national championship and Harbaugh leaving. And it's just Indiana just kind of came out of nowhere. It was one of those teams I don't think anybody expected to do anything. And, everybody should have Googled Cignetti.
Yeah. And Adam would love Florida Gator gear, Jamal.
Hey, send it this way. I'll wear it. Tell my boy John Summer I want official coaching gear.
Yeah. Don't send it my way. I mean, I have a fire pit.
Send it my way. I will wear it.
You can send it to me. It would be good. We always looking for ways to burn in the backyard. So it would be great to burn it. All right, let's get into some Porter stuff before we get to our fun activity we're going to do tonight. Just some quick things. Sam Levitt, LSU, man. What'd you think of that? I want to say this because I've given I thought this was interesting. I found this. This was before this season, so this doesn't even count Trinidad stats or anything like that. In the 5 years as head coach at Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin's starting quarterbacks have averaged 24 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 67% completion, 9.5 yards per pass, and a QBR of 82.0. I don't think it really matters who he gets a quarterback. I think their scheme is just going to always allow those guys to do really well.
I think you need in his system, he wants someone that can move around a little bit. Doesn't have to be a Vince Young, Cam Newton type, but he wants something that can make plays, keep plays alive with their legs. He brings that to the table. He's a pretty accurate quarterback at times, but there's sometimes I feel like, it's and I think he fits the system well. I feel like all quarterbacks are going to succeed, but we really only have a full slate season last season. Mm-hmm. And that running game that they had with Scattaboo, I think might have covered up a lot of deficiencies because he didn't play. He only played in 4 games at Michigan State. He wasn't the starter in 23, and he only played in 7 games this year before he got hurt. So,
yeah.
You're right. He had some decent numbers, but he had a couple stinker games in there too. And I feel like some of those passing yards that he threw up were because they were playing from behind the whole time. They had trouble. They didn't really have that running game to be able to keep the defense off the field. They were either playing catch up or they had to throw the ball. And
yeah,
so I think he'll be successful. He fits into the stereotypical quarterback, I think, pretty well. I think he's going to be one of you talk about the last 3 Lane had at Ole Miss. I would take all 3 of them above Levitt, I think.
Yeah. Chris with UPS. This is our guy from TikTok. He's a TikToker.
What's going on, Chris?
Came from our TikTok live earlier today. So awesome that he's here with us. I believe he's a Texas fan, which we'll get to them in next. I thought Raiola would go to LSU or Texas Tech. I think it's always been kind of Oregon for him. I really thought he was always going to Oregon.
When Levitt first left Baton Rouge, I was hearing maybe Raiola. And then the Texas Tech one I didn't think was – I always thought that was just people clowning him because he does everything Mahomes does. I didn't know if that one was ever –
I don't think it was ever a reality. I think the kid ain't very self-aware when it comes to Mahomes stuff. So I think maybe somebody in his camp got self-aware enough to say, hey, man, that ain't going to happen.
He does love Mahomes so much.
Yes, you would never beat the accusations. I think I say he's not self-aware. I think he hears it. He knows it. I don't think he cares, but I think he knew, like, if he went to Texas Tech, Twitter would, oh my God, they would never let him live it down. They're already cracking on him because Mahomes was caught wearing an Oregon jersey because he lost a bet to the Oregon Texas Tech game. Yes. And that video came out, I think, if I remember right, that video came out the day he committed to Oregon. So people already give him. Could you imagine if he committed to Texas Tech, like how Twitter would have reacted? Oh, I would have participated in it. It's kind of creepy.
What was his injury? Was it ACL or?
Yeah, it was like an ACL.
It was pretty broken. Okay, he broke his leg, broken fibula.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and I don't know what the timetable on that is.
My brother broke.
So he probably will be. I was thinking it was an ACL. He probably will be back for the start of the 26th season. I think that's like a 6-month. Anybody that's watching that knows that or has had that injury, please chime in on the comments. So
my brother,
I forget what they said when he first got injured. I knew it was out for the season, but if he's not feeling fully healthy, not full go, yeah, Chris, I agree with you. Chris from UPS. It's a great fit because Moore can stay. There's no pressure. There's no quarterback competition because Raiola might not be ready till week 4 or 5 anyway. You know, it makes sense from that standpoint, and it's worked out for a few other quarterbacks. It worked out for your boy from Auburn that's with the Broncos now. Why is my mind going blank?
Bo Nix.
Did you mute yourself or did I mute something?
I can. Can you hear me? It's not muted on my end. Chat, let me know if you can hear me. Can you hear me now?
I don't hear you though. But Oregon has done some great transformations for people that have quarterbacks that have struggled a little bit other places.
Can you hear me now? Sorry everybody, we're having some technical difficulties.
No, they can hear us both, so you can throw it on the phone if you want.
Throw what on the phone? Hold on.
Yeah, I think that's a good landing spot for him. And Chris, I'm curious what your thoughts are for your Georgia fan. What are your expectations going into next year?
Oh, next year, I'm pretty convinced that Georgia is going to be preseason number 1. I think Georgia was extremely young last year. 52% of Georgia's roster was 52% of Georgia's roster was young, was first and second year starters. So I have very high expectations for Georgia next year. I think okay, you can't hear me. Hold on everybody. This sucks. Y'all bear with us just for a minute.
All right, Chris is going to check his volume or settings because I can't hear him, and I'm not sure if he can hear me or not. I guess he could because he responded to the Georgia question. We've had this happen a few times before the show started, so he's going to check those settings.
Mic check.
Chris with UPS. Is that what Brown can do for you? Is that their slogan? But I agree. I'm curious what's going to happen with the. I don't think Georgia's going to start the season outside the top 10. But I'm curious. Some of your teams that kind of hung on when comparable Big Ten teams fell out. You talk about Missouri, Tennessee staying in the top 25 when Iowa and USC couple of those teams fell out of the top 25 with similar records, similar schedules, strength of schedules, all of that. So that's why I 100% hate preseason rankings.
Shit.
I hate then, and now that national championships aren't awarded by them, they're really pointless other than getting people to talk about them, getting people to, the social media back and forths and clicks and likes and all of that. So appreciate that input there. And even as crazy as it sounds, maybe the ACC. I don't know if the ACC total was as good as we thought. I think Miami obviously was pretty good. And if you look at the two games they lost, Beck played absolutely terrible. One of those was the 5 interception, 6 interception, whatever it was. And I think that has a lot to do with why Miami kind of fell off, because beating Notre Dame to start the season was a great win. And they were just kind of ticking along. And then SMU and Louisville, at one point I thought Louisville was a dark horse to win the ACC, and they were in it for a while. And then they kind of fell off. They smacked my Kentucky Wildcats around at the end of the season, unfortunately. But, I think if you go all 4 power conferences, I think you take the top 2 or 3, it's going to be pretty even. And I think where the difference comes is the depth. And that's where I don't know how much depth the ACC has. So, yes, I think Miami was better than anybody thought. They're the last team to get in. How good was Virginia? I think they probably hold their own with most teams. It's right here. UVA was better than we thought. They were fun watching their games. UVA was fun to watch. And I don't know how great they were. How good was Georgia Tech? It's those types of questions that are really hard to answer when we get to the end of the season. And I don't take bowl games into it ever. I never really have. I think it's silly. I really think it's crazy that Big Ten fans for the longest time were saying it's a bowl game, players opt out, yada, yada, yada. When SEC fans were saying, look how great we are, we're winning all the bowl games. And now it has completely flipped. In SEC games, bowl games don't matter anymore. I've never been one that thought the bowl games really told you a whole lot about how great a conference was, because you have anywhere from 2 to 5 weeks off from your last game sometimes. And now with all the opt-outs, it's like, what are we doing here? How does one game that is not a stereotypical game tell you much? So, and that's a very good point, Jamal. Miami's that was at SMU, right? Their first road game was that SMU game. So that also makes a big difference. And Chris, yes, bowl games are incredibly worthless, and I don't want to say they're worthless. The outcomes I think are sometimes, but you still get those extra weeks of practice with your teams. Your transfer portal guys more times than not are already out the door, and it's going to give you a lot of different looks. You're able to do a lot of helmet-only type practices with the players that play, and then your red shirts and non-travel squad guys are going full go. You get more film on them to be able to kind of see what's going to be there next year. So I don't want to say they're worthless, but the outcome of games are. And then what they bring to the city, the economical impact that they have on the cities, great. Obviously, ESPN's getting their chunk of the change, or because they own. I want to say ESPN owns 90% of the bowl games, so they're getting their chunk of the change out of it, or they wouldn't have created a lot of them. And it's one of those things that I think there is a lot of value to them for the player experience. You're getting some players to do a lot of community service type events around there. They're getting to cities instead of just flying in the night before. or day before, stay in the hotel, and then fly out on your charter immediately afterwards. They're getting to experience cities and experience things that they haven't experienced before. So I think there are a lot of good things to them, but the majority of them are not on the field things. Like I said, the outcome of bowl games don't really matter a whole lot. So you can kind of see what you got. Yes, 100% agree with you, Chris, at UPS. They need to cut the bowl games. They need to cut about 10 of the bowl games out. If you're under 5, I 100% agree with that. I don't even think if you're 500, you should go to a bowl game. Now, the reason the teams that were under 500 went is because there's 10 teams that declined their bowl invitation due to head coaching changes, Notre Dame doing their thing, and different things like that. So that was part of the reason why, or if there's just not enough teams and it's the highest academic team or whatever that APR is, those teams get in. What I would like to see do, this isn't my idea, I've kind of pieced it together from a couple different ideas with bowl games, though, is I would like to see the bowl games not be involved at all in the playoffs. Every higher seed hosts a playoff game at home up until the championship game. Then the championship game rotates around Rose Bowl, Orange Bowl, Sugar Bowl, Cotton Bowl, whatever. Put them up in Indianapolis at some point and do that. And then you bump your teams that are normally in the Alamo Bowl, the Citrus Bowl, your next tier that are not involved in the playoffs, bump those teams playing in those games to the Rose Bowl. Your top Big Ten team and whoever they're going to be affiliated with, if it's the Pac-12 getting back in, they play in the Rose Bowl. Your top Big Ten and whatever other conference that don't make the playoff, they go play in the Rose Bowl. Your top SEC and Big 12 teams that don't make the playoffs, they now go play in the Sugar Bowl and get the bowl games completely out of the playoff. And I don't know if that will ever happen because the bowls will raise a fit about it, but I absolutely love the energy and excitement with the on-campus playoff games. That seeing those games was freaking amazing, man. I absolutely loved it. And it's with the 16, I think you can still do that. You can still do that exact same thing. I won't be surprised if they go to 16 for the 26 season, 27 playoff, because the teams are 1-7 in that get a bye. They're 1-7. And I think at some point there's going to be pushback. The crazy part is it's going to be really hard to get teams to do this because you have to fully agree. Every conference, the mid-majors and the majors, have to agree.
Can you hear me?
To changing it, and then Notre Dame as well. So all conference commissioners. So to get all of them on board, I don't know if that's going to happen. I did see that the Big Ten said that they would agree to 16 teams if the SEC would agree to 24 in the next 3 to 4 years. I've said this many times, the rabbit's out of the hat. It's never going to go back in. Go back to your regional conferences, an 11-team regular season. It's not going to happen because of TV money. And instead of your conference games, that way there's parity within conferences of everybody plays. You don't need the conference championship game. And then your top 6 teams, 1 plays 2, 2 plays 3. No, I'm sorry, 1 plays 2, 3 plays 4, 5 plays 6 at the end of the year. And whoever wins, those teams make the playoff. Each conference does something similar to that, or however it works. If it's going to expand to 24, I think at some point it probably will, because that's all ESPN drives it, and TV money drives what ESPN is trying to do. So I think at some point it probably will go to 24. I don't think it's going to be right away, though. 16 is probably going to be the next step. So we'll go from there, and Chris is trying to figure this out. Everybody can hear him, everybody can hear me, but we can't hear each other. So he might be jumping back on, I might be jumping off, and we'll figure something else out here.
All right. He said
All right.
everybody can hear me.
I still got nothing, Chris. Let me.
We're gonna let Adam jump out, and he'll come back on.
Unmute. Let me go out and come back in. We'll see what happens. Go ahead and make a few points here, and then we'll go to the draft here in a few minutes.
All right. Hey, all right, commenters, y'all can hear me, right? Just make sure y'all can hear me at least. Yeah, I was hearing Adam talk about, and Chris, you brought up the 24. Okay, yeah. All right, everybody can hear me. All right. Yeah, the playoffs. I really I'll push back a little bit. I really think Greg Sankey and them's gonna keep pushing for 16 only. I do think there's enough support for 16 that 24 is not going to be a big deal. I mean, is not going to get past because Notre Dame doesn't want it either. Can you hear me now?
I can. Must have been something on my end. I don't know. They had to listen to this stupid monotone voice ramble on for 8 to 10 minutes. All we had to do was me just leave the stage, and it would have been perfect. That solves everything.
Right.
They
here. Yeah, they at least got to take a break from my ugly face. So, all right, let's do the draft. This night's been a disaster.
All right, so how this draft is going to work, and so everybody knows, I didn't want to. We're drafting mascots in a Anchorman street fight. If you guys have seen the movie Anchorman, who would win out of all these mascot battle royale? So there's multiple tigers, there's multiple bulldogs. I put them all as one because I don't want to get to. I want Missouri Tiger, I want LSU Tiger, all that. So it's Tiger, and all three teams are listed, and it also made it even that way. And then there's two human categories, Vanderbilt and Ole Miss, and they will be coaches, not involved in the fight, just because I couldn't figure out how to get them into any category or anything. So they're coaches. And also I went with actual mascot, not team name. So Alabama, they're the Tide, Crimson Tide. I went with Elephant because that's their mascot. Oklahoma, they have two ponies, humans in mascot costumes, named Booner and Schooner. So their mascot is, I forget if I made pony or horse, but that's their mascot. So it's strictly whether it's a live mascot or person in a costume, it is strictly the mascot. So, Chris, I'm going to bring this up on my screen.
Now, I forgot to ask you pre-show. Yes. So the mascots we're drafting, it's not the live animals, right?
The tiger is it's whatever it is. Assume it's a live animal.
Okay.
Because the person's not going to dress up in a Furby costume thing and go fight. So it's whatever they are. Assume it's the live version of that. It's just I use the mascot because I couldn't go like Kentucky Wildcats. That is their mascot, but Alabama's team name is not really their mascot. And you had some different things. So all right, let me figure this out. All right, Chris, you call it. What are you calling?
Let's go Lucky Tails.
All right. Heads.
Oh.
So I got first pick. And share screen again. All right, you got this?
Yep.
All right, first pick. I'm going with Tiger.
I mean, you have to, right? It's a freaking Tiger.
Yeah, you have to.
I don't know what even can compete with that. Like that would have been my first pick is a tiger. Like I don't even know what could compete with that. I'm not well versed on the animal kingdom. But I'm gonna is it my pick now?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. Jamal's gonna love this, but I'm gonna go a gator.
Okay.
I think a gator could get a tiger. I think I've seen some
Okay.
videos on YouTube that a gator can get after a tiger,
There it is. All
and they're
right.
sneaky fast too.
And I drag you in the water.
Yeah, they do that
You're
death
done.
roll, and it's game over.
Yep. Yep. I can't figure this aspect of it out, so we're just gonna do that. All right. It changed all my tabs.
Chris brought up a good point.
That's it.
Elephants should have been first. Yeah, elephant.
That was gonna be my. I was debating about that one if I want to stay in the cat realm. Get two wildcats running around, two types of big cats.
I'm
I think
losing.
elephant's gonna be my next one though, just because I want to take something that I thought you were gonna take.
I think I'm gonna. Okay, you went elephant. Shoot.
Yeah.
I'll go.
Oh shoot! You know what we need? Okay, we'll finish with coaches. We should have started with the coaches here.
Oh yeah.
We'll finish with coaches.
Okay. I'll go. I'll go wildcat. Ain't they supposed to be fast and stuff? Like, I need some speed. I think I need some speed to get around that elephant.
It's
'Cause
like
the elephant, he's big, but he's slow. I think I need a wildcat to kind of like help me. Maybe he can get the elephant tired or something.
All right, my next pick is going to be. I'm going with the Longhorn.
Oh yeah, you got strength. You got strength with the Longhorn and the elephant, and then a tiger. I mean, they're strong too. Yeah, I think you're dominating this because I don't like the picks after this. I really don't. I mean, because now you got like cute doggies. You got a effing rooster, a chicken, whatever the heck it is.
It might be able to fly around and be the last one standing. It might just.
I mean, that's true. That's true. It could. Oh my gosh, a horse. I don't know that horses are pretty nice, ain't they? Like they don't really. I mean, what?
I feel like if you're pulling a covered wagon,
Yeah,
you're gonna be pretty pissed off and be more like a bucking bronco. I don't know.
that's fair. That's fair. And now they're powerful. They're powerful if they kick you. They will. It could do a lot of damage. And then a razorback, man. Those little things are fast too. That could be kind of like the. You know what? I like what Chris with UPS said. Gamecock could blind the bigger animals with its claws. Give me a gamecock. He's gonna fly around your elephant and longhorn and just claw its freaking eyes out. Let's go. I feel like the dogs are all gonna go last. My poor Ugga. My poor UGA.
All right, I'm going with the Razorback, man. Give me that hog.
Hey, they're fast.
You get some wild ones out here running around, 500-pounders running around here with those tusks they got, slicing things up.
Oh man, it's real slim pickings here. It's down to the freaking dogs and a horse. I gotta go horse. I mean, I love my dogs and I love the cute dogs in the like Tennessee. They're got a dog too. Yeah, I'm gonna go horse. I'm gonna go horse. Because like you said, if it's pulling a wagon, it's gonna freaking it's gonna be pretty pissed. So it's gonna be bucking and maybe it'll hit a couple of times. I'm feeling good about my team. I don't think I'm gonna win though. I do not think I'm gonna win.
Somehow I miscalculated this because we only got 3 left. I'm going to go collie because I grew up with Shelties, which is a miniature collie, and I just kind of like them. Plus, they're incredibly smart dogs.
I mean, I'm gonna have to go with the Bulldogs. I mean, I don't think they're gonna be much of help. Um,
I'm gonna give you both of the last two
okay.
because I didn't figure this out right. I thought I did, but we're gonna do that.
Yeah, they're gonna hold my team down. I promise you that. Like those two dogs, they're gonna hold. The Bulldogs are gonna hold us down because they're known to be pretty lazy, fat, unhealthy, and sleep a lot. So I don't think them two are gonna do much of anything. Maybe if I'm lucky, they're real active. They can bite the ankles of the elephant
Yeah.
and kind of hold its ankles down while the gamecock is clawing the eyes and the horse is bucking its face, and I'm getting violent. And the
Yeah.
Wildcats,
But that's okay.
yeah.
So you got. I hate that this screwed up my tabs, but it's all right. All right, and I'll give you both of these. All right, and you can have first pick on who you want to coach.
I mean, the Commodore's like a muscular type person, right? Now the Rebel, but they have a land shark too.
Yes.
I've never ran into a land shark, but I would imagine it's pretty just as dangerous as a ocean shark. No, you know what? I'm gonna go the land shark rebel because like the land shark, like I mean, yeah, that sounds pretty, you know, that sounds pretty cool. I'm gonna go land shark.
All right. Whatever.
I
We
really
know what it is. I can't get this to work right, but let's see.
I feel like you had the better team. I mean, you got tigers, you got elephants, you got longhorns, you got a razorback.
I by far have the better team, so that means
Yeah,
I'm
it's
stuck.
not
I'm
even
stuck
close.
with Mr. Commodore.
Yeah, it's not. It's really not even close because you have the size, the strength, and then you got a cute doggy in the Texas A&M doggy that could distract us. I mean, because that dog's just absolutely adorable. Um, yeah, I think we're screwed. I think I pretty
All
much.
right. So these are the final teams. Whose team's going to win in a battle royale, street fight type animal fight with, and the humans are coaches only, just like a coach doesn't get on the field and play. You know, I I will say the Rebel / Land Shark, since Land Shark's new.
Oh
And
yeah, they don't go on the field. Yeah, shoot.
I didn't really know what a Land Shark was, and since it's new, but the Rebel does have some military experience.
Yeah, and losing.
That's true. That's true. You're set up to fail, Chris.
Yeah, and freaking losing. I forgot they're just the coaches. This went pretty disastrous for me. I think my
I like my team. I think hands down, this isn't
yeah.
even close. I
No, it's
totally win
not.
this.
I'm man enough to admit it. It's not close. My only shot is the freaking gamecock chicken clawing people's eyes out. But I don't think that's gonna last very long. The elephant could just like hit it with
Unless your gator can bite some ankles and pull people into the water.
and do the death roll. But I don't know
Do
how
the death roll, yeah.
I don't know how you're getting Longhorn into a death roll, or an elephant.
No, it could definitely get I think it could get a longhorn in the water. It's going to spin it, but
Yeah,
my only hope is there's no water around. I live in New Orleans though, so there's water all around. The streets flood all the time.
yeah.
So
Then
if this fight
have this
happens in
fight
New
in New
Orleans,
Orleans. Yeah,
they might end up in the river.
yeah. We need to have this fight in New Orleans. Then we need to have this fight in New Orleans because it's my only shot. It is my only shot. And then I got to two cute little bulldogs, and they're going to be absolutely useless. They're going to
they'll
be so useless.
they'll make things loud.
Yeah, yeah.
They'll make things loud. All right, I want to hear from the people watching live now. Whose team's going to win this fight? One and two. Clip this so we can put it on Instagram as well. See who would win the fight.
Yeah, we will definitely clip this. Chris or Jamal, hit us with who y'all think won. Or Josie. I know the Josie's in here watching. Yeah, I'm definitely. Well, she may not. That may not be fair. That's my wife. Although she tends to love to pick against me. So who knows? I mean, I think you dominated me. I don't think it's even close. Yeah. I think we already know.
Let's go.
You killed it. Yeah, I did horrible.
Maybe one of your people on your team will pick up a trident, and it might escalate quickly.
Well,
That escalated quickly.
yeah, it could. It could. That was awesome.
That draft domination escalated quickly. So
Yes, it escalated. I was in trouble with you as soon as I lost the coin flip, and you took the Tigers, and then I got flustered. I got flustered and I panicked, and I should have went. And if I could go back, I would have went Longhorn or Elephant, because then I feel like I would have had a more balanced team. I don't feel like I have a shot.
I was thinking about going either a Wildcat or Gator with my second pick.
Yeah.
But once you went Gator, that was gone. And then when you said I felt like you wanted the Elephant, I was torn between the Wildcat and the Elephant. I was like, all right, I got to go Elephant because Chris wants it.
Yeah.
So that's why I went with that, because I was thinking let's get two different cats. Wildcat's gonna be a little bit smaller, but let's get two different cats that, Wildcat's similar to Bobcat. We'll get it, and we will just have that. And then I was afraid, and I figured I'd get either the Longhorn or the Elephant in the third round. So
I bet coming into this, you did not expect to land what you did because of my stupidity.
I didn't. I coming into this, because I just came up with this 2 days ago. I had no idea what was going to happen.
I'm an idiot. That's what happened. I'm a freaking idiot.
Well, I've known that for a year now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you have, and like I got flustered. I got the mic situation flustered me. I think there's some cheating going on here, is what I think. I think Adam is Indiana me right now, and cheating, or no, he's Connor Stallions me right now. And he got me he hacked into my mics, and he messed it up.
That's why your mic went down earlier.
Yeah.
I couldn't hear you.
Yeah, it got me flustered with the mic. I was so aggravated and frustrated with it, and then it came in, and man, I think he got me.
The Miami Hurricanes wouldn't have an actual hurricane though. They would have is it Ibis or Ibis, or how do you say it?
Or what is it?
Yeah, that's their mascot. So that's who they would have, a bird.
Yeah, so that wouldn't help me out. I already got a stupid rooster.
We're gonna do this. Give us ideas. We're gonna do this to end every season. Our final wrap-up show. A couple other ideas that Chris and I have talked about a little bit of how we're going to go forward with future drafts. And we'll have to figure out if it's always a street fight or if we're making just different things out of it. But we'll have some different drafts. We'll have a draft to end every season, some goofy way, one way or another.
Yeah, it was fun. I wish the mic didn't work, but we conquered, and we overcame and came back, and I think we finished strong. Appreciate everybody joining us. Adam, no, you close it. Let me just say this before Adam closes. We appreciate all the support this year. It's been phenomenal. And I'll let Adam finish.
Thank you so much. It's been an absolute blast. The interaction makes this even more fun and opens my ideas. I like hearing all the different ideas, and it makes me brainstorm a little bit on just different stuff I hadn't thought of. So thank you for that. Thank you for always watching, and I'm going to miss this for this year. We'll get it started back up here probably mid-August, Chris, you think, and we'll keep rolling. The Instagram will be active as much as we can for somebody that's not very social media savvy like me that's running it. Sweet Tea _SEC. And as Jamal said, I wear a different shirt every game. He said he's going to send me a different university or higher education, even if it's a tech school or trade school, esthetician school, any of that stuff. Clown school. I don't know if those are a real thing or not, but even if there's clown school, I'll wear one of those. I'll send the shirt back to you, or I'll take it to Goodwill if you don't want it anymore. But different shirts on here, and appreciate everything you guys have done for us. And we look forward to a fun off season. Great game Monday night coming up, and keep drinking that sweet tea and watching the SEC.
Peace.